Kathy. We're here today to talk about your book, Prosper as Your Soul Prospers. So can you tell me, what is the book about?
Okay, basically it's entitled Prosper as Your Soul Prospers, a holistic approach to basic money management from a soul and spirit perspective. Because I found on my own journey that a lot of people talk about budgeting, or talk even about your mindset, or talk about your emotions, but they didn't deal with the other aspects of soul, so will and mind, will, emotions. So that, so that's character based.
Okay.
So will being able to do your yes mean yes, your no mean no, and then spirit. So I started writing this book actually about 5 years ago, but then stopped, and just a few different things happened, but I hadn't dealt with the spirit side. And with the spirit side in the book, it's actually looking at how to avoid greed and poverty and go for generosity.
Wow, that's quite something. It's amazing. So tell me, why did you write it? What was the purpose of this book?
Basically, the challenge I was having in my own life. I'd always sort of had an inkling that there was something to do with love and money, and didn't quite get it. And then about 12 years ago, I knew I needed to, make a change in different things, but I was still getting caught up with working so hard and still trying to follow my dreams and help people, and I kept hitting burnout and kept hitting the same pattern. And then I had a life-changing opportunity during the boom time back in 2007, where one of my girlfriends, she knew I was just doing it really tough, and she rang up and she said, "Do you know how much your house is worth?" And it was like, oh wow, even if she's only 10% true, that was actually life-changing. And I just thought, wow, so I could make some money selling my house, and I'd been doing my house up, and I was working a lot, but more importantly, I thought, I actually don't ever want to be in a situation again of, like it said, we cannot have two masters, love and mammon, which is the spirit behind money. And I felt like I was a slave to money, that I was always working and just having to just always be paying bills. It wasn't like I was chasing money, like, for greed or anything, but it was just trying to pay the bills and trying to survive, and I just knew that wasn't the way to live and how we were meant to live. And so I made a really conscious choice back in the middle of 2007, so that's 7.5 years ago, to actually find out, okay, how does this love and money mix, and compassion and sustainability?
Yeah, wow. That's quite something as well. It's incredible. Yeah. And so how do you say this journey has changed you?
It couldn't have changed me anymore because I felt like I was in there's a game that's on PlayStation or something where you sort of go forward and then you stop and you hit something and you have to go around, and that's how I felt. Like I was very good and had a very good background, a solid background between banking and business, and having done economics at university and different things. But I didn't realise, your emotions do matter. And because I've usually been single, and how I grew up, you just didn't feel your emotions. So it was like, wow, you actually have to deal with them. And then there's a whole section in the book about that. And so I kept learning, I have to deal with that. I have to deal with that. So it was like I'd hit a brick wall and realised, wow.
Wow, okay. Yeah, that's a steep learning curve, but
no, that's okay. Sorry.
And so what is in the book? How is it structured?
Okay, each chapter is actually really, really short. So I'll give you an example. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. But this is actually quite a long one, so this gives you the top 3 tips that are in the chapter, and then it may have a quote. It just has, at the most, usually 3 to 5 or so pages of information, and then it will have my story or somebody else's story, so a testimony of somebody who's overcome in that area, possible ways to move forward, and then questions to reflect on.
That's really cool. Sounds like an easy read, and it's pretty thought-provoking as well.
Part of the reason is that a lot of people don't like reading these days, and the attention span of a lot of people is really short, and people are busy, so they don't even have time. So it's written definitely with that in mind. And at the end of each of the sections, you actually get an opportunity to use the 4 steps of imagineering to a better world. So as a result of reading the section on mind, will, emotions or spirit, you can do your imagine, like your vision, your solution, commit and partner.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Great, yeah. And so what has the feedback been with the book so far?
It's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Some people have really realised straight away, like 2 of the main themes of the book is that it's about personal leadership, so character-based personal leadership, how to control your emotions, how to be able to make your yes mean yes, your no mean no, as well as stewardship. So if each of us look after ourselves, our own, and reach out to help others, we will not be getting caught up in greed or poverty, but also when a few of us are helping other people, then we're reducing world poverty.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Wow. Yeah, definitely sounds like a very realistic way to change the world.
Yes, absolutely. I've actually been teaching the things in the book for, sometimes 12 years or more, sometimes, the last 5 years or so, depending on which chapter it is in the book. So I've just actually printed off a couple of the testimonials that have come off the website.
Okay.
This is from Ted Roper, who is a continuous improvement coach who has worked here and numerous countries around the world. I recently read Prosper as Your Soul Prospers and was impressed with its completeness. Catherine has taken a complex subject and presented it in an accessible manner. The book would make an excellent topic for a small group to study over a few weeks and has the capacity to impact people in a significant way. Another one I'd like to read is from Dawn McCulloch, who's a retiree, and she says, I found this book, Prosper as Your Soul Prospers, a very interesting, informative book written with authority and intelligence, as it covers many subjects. One in particular is the area of young people starting out in business, on how they can encounter and overcome the pitfalls along the path using God's principles. I would very much like to see this book in Christian bookstores and get out to the wider community, as it has a holistic approach to money management, and the resources and approach learnt by the author on her journey through life, which she has described in detail, is very refreshing. So, and just to let you know as well, some people have seen the value straight away and picked up like 5 copies for their small group, for example. Some people have come back and bought multiple copies, even for their adult children, and then, with the thinking of they can also be teaching their grandchildren.
Oh, yeah.
So it's happening through the generations, through small groups, even with some young adults, and even sometimes in families. People are getting a copy or 2 within the family, and then meeting and doing a chapter each week as a study group.
That's very impressive. Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.